What's up, everybody? JVille Sports here with my Sports Picks video, college football edition. It is Friday night, November the 15th. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I am super excited for another college football and college basketball Saturday. It is going to be a huge weekend starting with Saturday. Of course, we also have NHL, NBA, all sorts of action all over the place. So today we're going to focus on college football. I hope you guys are ready for another $10,000 parlay. We've already hit it once this year. We're trying to hit it one more time before the season ends. For those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. Thank you for being here. What I do with college football is I do what's called a long shot parlay. I put together a bunch of plays that I'm looking towards, that I'm leaning towards, that I like. Put them together all into a long shot parlay. I throw a little bit on it, see what happens. The reason why I do it is I try to give you guys as many plays as possible. Now, these are not my best plays that I put in the long shot parlay, but these are still plays that I like a lot. And a lot of these plays, most of these plays, I put in myself. In addition to the long shot parlay, I do straight bets on a lot of these as well. So if you guys were already looking at some of these games and leaning towards the same way, then that gives you some extra confidence. If we're on opposite sides, then, maybe one of us needs to take a look at that game a little closer. But either way, it's just my way of giving out a bunch of picks, a fun way to do it. So like I said, I throw the long shot parlay in myself. I don't necessarily recommend you do it. It's obviously a long shot parlay. Chances are that it's not going to come in, but that is not going to stop us from trying to hit this bad boy for the second time this year, like I said, for college football. And then once the regular season of college football starts to die down, I'll start this right back up with college basketball and do some long shot college basketball parlays. Right now, there's a lot of Division 2 versus Division 1 games going on and some tournaments going on. So it's not the best time right now to do long shot college basketball parlays, but we will definitely be doing that here in a few weeks. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into the action. First, I'll go ahead and recap our long shot from last week. Not the greatest attempt, but it's definitely going to happen. And then we'll get into this week's attempt. And of course, towards the end of the video, I'll give out one of my more favorite straight bets. And then that will wrap it up. So let's go ahead and do it. So this is what we had with our long shot last week. We went 2 and 5. Like I said, not our greatest attempt. Purdue and Northwestern under. Northwestern all of a sudden found their offense. This actually was leaning towards the under, or is trending towards the under for most of the game, but it went over when it was all said and done. UMass Army over. Like I said last week, Army was going to score 61 pretty much by themselves, and that's exactly what happened. Stanford -3. I thought Stanford coming off a bye would show better than they did. They did not. Kansas State, Texas over 57. Not as much scoring in this one as I thought. Iowa, Wisconsin under 38. This one was a low scoring game, but it squeaked at 38. You pretty much need everything to go right when you have a total that low of 38. It was pretty close, but it just went over that. We had BYU -17. They ended up winning, but did not cover. We had Iowa State, Oklahoma over. A ton of points in this one. I think they went over 80. So that went way over the total. So 2 and 5, like I said, not our greatest attempt, but it's definitely going to happen here and there. So let's go ahead and turn that page and move on to week 12. I really like this week's long shot attempt. So we will see what we can do. For starters, we have Alabama and Mississippi State under 60. So Alabama, LSU, a huge game we had last week where we saw Alabama take their first loss of the season. So what happened in that game was Alabama gave up 46 points to LSU. Now, LSU's been scoring on everybody, but still, you don't expect Alabama's defense to, LSU, they pretty much shut LSU down in the second half for the most part. LSU had over 30 points at halftime, so they did most of their damage in the first half. And then they kind of held on in the second half as Alabama attempted to make a comeback in that game. But, with Nick Saban and one of the sides of the ball gets exposed, he definitely is going to shore that up. So Alabama's defense got exposed. They did not have a good showing last week. I fully expect this defense to come out strong and shut down Mississippi State. Mississippi State's going to get some points. Alabama, Tua is still questionable. I don't think he's going to play. I don't think they need him to play to win this game. It's better to have him rested for later in the season. For much tougher opponents like Auburn. They'll have that game coming up here shortly. So I would rest Tua. We'll see if he goes or not. If he doesn't go, obviously that helps our under. But either way, I still like this game to stay under. Because like I said, I think we have a really motivated Alabama defense here. And just overall, I mean, the team might be a little down coming off of that loss. But they're still ranked number 5, so they have to keep going, win every game, and see what happens. Mississippi State, just a middle-of-the-run SEC team. Nothing special about them this year, so I like this game to stay under 60, mainly because I think Alabama's defense is going to shut down Mississippi State. Next, we have Indiana plus 14.5. So Penn State, another huge game last week. We had 2 more undefeateds, Penn State versus Minnesota. And again, the underdog got the victory with Minnesota taking out Penn State. And historically, under Franklin, whenever Penn State loses, it carries over into the next game. They don't have a good performance the next game. They don't cover the spread most of the time. I think we're going to see the same thing here. We have a hot Indiana team. I love what I've seen from this Indiana team offensively and defensively. I think they can definitely keep this game close. Like I said, we're going to have a down Penn State team. Typically, this is a tough place to play. Rowdy environment at Penn State. But having that loss, not being undefeated anymore, I think that just deflates the team, deflates the whole atmosphere. So I think Indiana has a good chance to come in here and stay close, stay competitive, maybe even have a chance to win the game at the end. But I think 14.5 points is a little bit too much. So that is going to be pick number 2. Next, we're going with Memphis minus 10. Memphis is currently tied for first place in their division, so they don't really have much margin for error here. They're the much better team on both sides of the ball. Houston is coming off 2 straight losses, bad performances. You got to question their motivation here. There's no way that this team is going to make a bowl game. So I love Memphis here to take advantage of that. We have 2 teams going in opposite directions. I love Memphis here to win this game by at least 2 touchdowns. Next, we have LSU and Mississippi over 66. So like I said before, LSU, nobody can stop this team, especially not Ole Miss. Their defense is terrible. I expect LSU here to score a ton of points. They should get over 40 if they come prepared to play. Like I said, Burrow is going for a Heisman. I think he is trying to have a good game every single time. As far as LSU's defense goes, this is a pretty good defense, but we saw Alabama score a bunch of points against them. And I think in this game, coming off that huge win over Alabama, I think this defense can relax a little bit. Coming off of that win, a little bit of a flat spot here, trying to get back up for this Ole Miss team. So I think Ole Miss here at home can definitely score some points, and we know LSU is going to score points. So put that together, I'd like this game to be high scoring, mostly by LSU, but I think, like I said, Ole Miss can definitely get their points as we see a little bit more of a relaxed LSU defense. Next, we have Utah State minus 4.5. Utah State is at home. I love Utah State here in this matchup. Wyoming is coming off a tough overtime defeat at the hands of Boise State. That was really a tough loss to swallow. Now they have to get back up, travel, go to Utah State, and play a very good Utah State team. On top of that, they lost their quarterback. I don't see why this line is down to 4.5. I'm all over Utah State here. I will definitely take that. Next, we have UTEP and UAB under 44. So UTEP is just a really bad team, especially on offense. They are really bad. On the flip side, UAB, okay offense, but really the main part of this team is their defense. They have a solid defense, especially in the conference that they play in. They're able to shut a lot of these teams down, and I see this being no different here with UTEP. On the flip side, UTEP also has a bad defense, but UAB lost their quarterback last week, so they are going to be starting a freshman here. So I think we see a more conservative conservative game plan by UAB, especially at home. They'll have the home crowd behind them, so I don't think there'll be any turnovers with that new quarterback. But I like this game to stay under. Like I said, UAB should be able to shut down UTEP, and I don't think UAB is going to score a ton of points themselves, as they most likely will have more of a conservative approach. So love this game. It's a low under at 44, but I like it to stay under that. And last but not least, we have Kansas State minus 14 at home against West Virginia. This is another case where we have two teams going in opposite directions. This West Virginia team is a complete mess. They have lost 5 in a row. No chance for them to go. There's a slim chance. I don't want to say there's no chance, but pretty much there's no chance that they're going to be going to a bowl game. So you have to question their motivation here. New head coach, young team, struggling team. They have to go on the road, face a Kansas State team, pissed off, coming off of a loss from last week. They're still ranked, still motivated. I like Kansas State here to dominate West Virginia at home. So love Kansas State here, minus 14. I think they'll win this game by at least 17 points here at home. So that is going to wrap up the long shot. We have 7 plays. We have 3 totals and 4 spreads. So I like how we laid it out this week. I think it is going to be a solid attempt. If we don't hit it, I think we are definitely going to hit most of these. So what I would recommend is doing maybe smaller parlays or straight bets. But if you want to get crazy with me, I'm definitely going to be throwing this long shot in. We'll see what happens. 120 will pay 10,311. That will definitely be another nice payday if we can hit this again. But that is this week's long shot attempt. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully you guys like some of these plays. We'll see what happens, like I said. Let's go ahead and move on to today's free play of the day, one of my better straight bets. Before I do that, I do want to mention my website, JVilleSportsPicks.com. This is what it looks like. This is how to get there. Like I said, JVilleSportsPicks.com. If you're not receiving my daily newsletter, this is where you'll go to sign up. I'm releasing plays every single day in college football, NFL, NHL, NBA, college basketball. Every single day we are giving out a bunch of plays. Today we were on Marshall minus 6. They got the 31-10 victory over Louisiana Tech, so that was a nice college football winner that we gave out today. But my newsletter is loaded with picks, like I said, in all sports each and every day. So if you're interested in more than just a free play I give out here on the channel, if you're interested in adding some more picks to your arsenal, looking for a little bit more advice, check out JVilleSportsPicks.com. Hit the big blue button in the upper right hand corner to join the village. This will list out all the different packages that are available. I make them super cheap because I am trying to build your bankroll, not take from it. So let me know if you have any questions about the website or any of the packages. My email address, social media pages are all down below in the description of this video. Let me know if you have any questions. Other than that, that's the website. Check it out, JVilleSportsPicks.com. Sign up for that daily newsletter today. We are about to start ramping up in college basketball. We had another straight bet winner today. We had South Carolina minus 24. They absolutely crushed it today. They won by like 40 points. So that was an easy winner in college basketball. So we're only going to continue that. The first few weeks are a filling out period. We're still in that period, but each and every day it is getting better and better and better. And we are just going to start to take off here as we combine college basketball and college football along with all of the other major sports. So great time to be a fan, great time to be a sports bettor. There's just so much action going on each and every day. So like I said, sign up for my daily newsletter and start getting those picks sent to your email box every single day. But let's go ahead and move on to today's free play of the day. I am going to go to one of the big matchups that we have tomorrow on Saturday in the SEC. I am talking about Georgia versus Auburn. And I am going to go with the upset here with Auburn at home getting points. And there's a few reasons why. I won't make this super long. So first of all, Georgia, if you look at their road games, this is only their 3rd road game of the season, which is kind of crazy. They had one to start the season at Vanderbilt, cupcake win. They had one a few weeks ago at Tennessee, another one of the worst teams in the SEC. So they had 2 road games against probably two of the worst SEC teams. Arkansas might be the worst SEC team, but 2 of the worst. Those were their only 2 road games so far this year. So this is going to be their first true road test, and it's coming up against this tough Auburn team. On top of that, Auburn is coming off a bye. They are going to be healthy. They're going to have some wrinkles. They are going to be fully loaded and prepared for this Georgia team. And I think we're getting some value in the line here. I don't think this spread should be 3. If you look at Georgia, their last win, they shut out Missouri 27-0. So that is definitely a misleading, I don't want to say it's a misleading final, but Missouri was missing their quarterback and a few other key pieces on that team. So shutting out Missouri is not that big a deal. All it did was skew Georgia's defensive stats, make them look better than they really are. A couple weeks ago, they also shut out Kentucky. Kentucky's quarterback situation is also a mess. So they have a couple two shutouts in their last 3 games. Kind of helps their defensive stats more than I think they should, just because of the situations those two teams were in. Auburn, before the bye week, they had a close win against an inferior opponent in Ole Miss. They won that game 20-14. So that's another misleading total. If you look at the box score, Auburn completely dominated that game. They should have won that game by a lot more. So if you look at the finals for Georgia's last few weeks and Auburn's, Georgia looks like the more impressive team, but if you actually dive into the box scores, Georgia's offense still does not seem right, and their defense, although they're a very good defense, I think the stats are indicating they're much better than they really are. Another key here is Auburn. Obviously, we know they have a freshman quarterback in Bo Nix. He has played so much better at home than he has on the road. Auburn as a team has played a lot better, as most teams do, at home than they do on the road. We know this crowd is going to be fired up. We have a top 5 team coming into town. I love Auburn here. I will take the 3 points. We're going to go with Auburn +3 at home against Georgia. A lot of pressure on Georgia here to win this game. We've seen Georgia over the past few years struggle under pressure, so we'll see what happens here on the road. I think this is going to be another case where they falter. If you look at the rest of their schedule, Texas A&M at home, they should be able to win. Georgia Tech on the road, they definitely should be able to win that. And then, of course, they'll have the SEC championship game if they do run the table. But I think they slip up here on the road against Auburn. So I'm going to take Auburn +3. That is going to be today's free play of the day for Saturday, November the 16th. That's going to do it for me. I'm going to be releasing my NFL video here shortly. You'll see that sometime on Saturday. But I want you guys to enjoy your Saturday. Good luck with all of your picks. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, the long shot parlay, the best bet of the day. Let's go Auburn Tigers. Other than that, like I said, good luck with all of your picks. Have an awesome Saturday, and I will see you guys very, very soon.